Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is just two people today. And the two people today saw a movie. That movie.
We saw a movie.
Is Fall Guy.
It is
now,
Fall
one
Guy.
man decided not to watch this movie because he had a strong feeling, like myself, that the trailer shown too much. And we will talk about the fact that I will have to say, I don't think the Fall Guy movie actually showed that much in the trailer after watching the movie, like at all.
Nope.
Not
I'm gonna say like that's my number one thing, and I definitely don't remember seeing a lot of the Fall Guy trailers to begin with, like you guys did. But the one that I did see, it didn't. I honestly, I thought the movie was gonna go a certain way based on the trailers, and then once we actually see the movie, no, like I would not have guessed what they were gonna do. And kudos to the whole marketing team because it fooled me.
Yeah, let's keep the first few minutes spoiler free. And with that spoiler free, speaking of the marketing team, a lot of people said they haven't seen much advertisement for this movie. Blake and I, on the other hand, I felt like I saw so much of this movie being shown for trailers that's why it was such a big deal that the trailer showed so much, even though it ended up being not much at all. But yeah, that was the biggest complaint when I saw like people on TikTok talking about the movie, because opening weekend, it did not do anything. It was 10 million shy of tying how much Star Wars Episode 1 did, because Star Wars Episode 1 did 18 million that weekend, and Fall Guy did 28.
Wow.
So it is really bad opening. And I definitely think they were suffering from the fact that Star Wars definitely was coming out just the weekend that they released. Doesn't help that there is a lot of more hype than I realized for the Planet of the Apes. People are really getting into that. So I think people are just like, oh, I'm going to save my money. Maybe I'll go see Star Wars for fun, because they were even showing it in IMAX. So that even hurt it more. That they weren't even getting all IMAX showings.
Right.
For Fall Guy. Yeah, definitely unfortunate for them. But also people are saying that they were talking about that they didn't even hear about this movie and they forgot about it, which I don't know how that's possible, because
dude, it was on TikTok like all the time.
I didn't see it on TikTok, but I saw a ton of in theater. Obviously, they were definitely dominating the trailers in the theaters, and sports, they definitely were advertising hard. So I guess maybe just those two environments got it the most, and maybe outside of that, like YouTube, I didn't see any ads on YouTube for it. So that could maybe they just did not reach out.
Yeah, but... no, I just mainly saw it like on these like sponsored ads that TikTok has. It wasn't really like, actual TikTokers talking about the movie or anything. It was mainly just those sponsored ones. And it'd be like every so often. So it wasn't like all the time, but that's where I would see it. And obviously also in the theater when they'd play it. And I do remember it playing during a game.
Yeah, in the theater they did the long one too. Anyways, overall, just continuing with the non-spoiling. It was funny. The action was a shocker to me as well. The action was definitely good. I knew it was going to be a rom-com, obviously. It definitely is a rom-com, and it was a solid one. But really, what I could say is the action was it fit the theme of the movie, how it was going. Like, it was slightly over the top, but it was well shot in scenes. Also, a lot of actors in this that I did not know were going to be in this that came in and were awesome in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exact
so many
same
actors
thing.
that you love are just in there. It's like, oh, you're in this, and they do great. And it seemed like everyone had fun making this.
Yeah. I mean, trying to keep it non-spoiler, of course. I kind of figured that's kind of how the action was going to be kind of shot. This is David Leitch. He's one half of the original John Wick. He directed Deadpool 2. I'm pretty sure he also directed Bullet Train. So we kind of know his style, and he was a stuntman before. So the fact that he made a movie based on this guy who's a stuntman, I don't know. It just felt like a passion project for him, and you could tell everyone was definitely having a blast making this movie, and the jokes, some of them were really funny. I was cracking up.
None that I remember from the trailers either. So that's always a win for me, because that is one thing that always takes me out of comedy movies, when they show the best jokes in a trailer. And I'm like, this just doesn't land. I don't remember. There's maybe one moment in the movie that I was like, oh, that was from the trailer. That was it. Yeah. So let's go to the spoiler side of things.
Okay.
And let's start with the easier spoilers. It starts off with the fact of them, I don't know if it played for you, but the director and Ryan Gosling about, silencing your phone.
No.
They were kind of having fun. Oh, you didn't have that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, for me, they had a clip before about them joking about silencing your phone, but also them speaking about the fact that it's basically a passion project for stuntmen.
Oh.
It was like a quick, few minute thing. I'm surprised you didn't have it. Yeah, I had that. Yeah, so that's one little thing that was nice. Obviously, the plot. The trailer part that I'm talking about is Tom Ryder is dead in the trailer. He's the man that's in the ice. But in the movie, obviously, he's not. So that changed, everything.
Yeah. I think
that was my
I don't
thing.
Like I said, I don't even remember the trailer, to be honest with you. I remember like little snippets, but the story was completely different. Like the way it made it out to be was like he had to go find him, and he finds him dead.
Yes.
Like in the trailer, and then in this one, it's obviously completely fucking different. He okay, from the start, it sets up certain plot points from the very beginning. It starts off with him obviously on a project with Emily Blunt. They're having like a fling, and he has to do a stunt where he falls from a very, very high altitude, and it goes wrong, and he fucks up his back. Accident, right? It happens. Well, that plot point comes later on in the film. Basically, he ghosts her because he feels like he failed in front of her, and he has this thing where a stuntman, usually once they do the stunt, they give the thumbs up, and that's kind of their thing. And he did not give that thumbs up, and he felt some sort of way. Well, jump forward to the movie that she is now directing. You have a I did not know she was in the film, by the way. And me and you know her from Ted Lasso. Yeah. And she's like, oh, so she's the producer. And she calls him up out of the blue saying that she wants him on the movie because, I can't even remember anymore. Was there a specific reason?
Yeah, so it was more just she baits him in because he's like, oh, she wants you back.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
She was basically, then you find out she was basically using him as a trap because he looks the closest to Tom Ryder.
Yeah.
Which then we get quickly introduced to more actors. It felt like they just picked the funniest or best actor from the last 5 or 6 years of movies.
Winston Duke, fucking M'Baku shows up as the stunt coordinator.
Exactly. There was just people who showed up, phenomenal. It was cool. This actual stunt shots of, we're just kind of be all over the place, but seeing them do it in the movie and then afterwards, the end credits showing them actually doing the said stunts. So a lot of it was practical effects, was pretty dope.
Yeah,
that was definitely adds to it, and then showing even then also the stuntmen joining part of it. So there's a lot to the film, more than just being a silly rom-com. Which Emily Blunt needs to do more rom-com. She was really funny in this, and
she was funny.
It was great.
She brought it, and she looks amazing. She's fucking amazing in this film. Like performance, appearance, everything. She's fucking killed it. Fucking amazing. And Emily Blunt is a powerhouse.
Yeah, so definitely need more of that instead of just serious roles. Which, hey, her hubby is literally comes from a comedy show, so you'd think that maybe they would do, maybe a rom-com together.
Right.
Seems like the easiest home run of all time. Yeah, I mean, okay, overall the plot, though, it was nice that it was different than what the trailers were showing it. It is still that kind of cheesier rom-com plot. Really more of the movie is that the characters and the chemistry between the actors made it a lot funnier even for just basic line deliveries. It was just funny because of who was saying it. So that definitely helped this movie a ton. Action obviously was fun. Like when he is in all neon, green, yellow, and he's just smacking people. Pretty fun with that. As well
when he
as the
goes to the
car
club.
scene. Yeah, car scene too with the dumpster. It was pretty chill with the French dog. That was always a nice little joke in there. Yeah, and then of course just the ending of them doing basically every practical stunt that they could do and do a massive jump just to show that they could pull that off. It's kind of funny to loop that in to a stuntman movie so they can show a stuntman doing it in the end.
Yeah.
And also the mentions to Tom Cruise, which is pretty funny because a man
deep fake Tom Cruise and everyone believes it.
They keep mentioning Tom Cruise. So that was kind of like their way of mentioning a stuntman that's not an official stuntman. Yeah.
I mean, I got to point this out because I fucking cracked up when he went to Ryder's apartment with the stunt coordinator, and they were like trying to find out what the password to his phone is, and he's like, it's probably on one of his billions of fucking post-it notes all over his apartment. One of the ones on the fridge made me fucking laugh. It said Jason Momoa, Mamoa question mark or Momoa. I'm like, is it Momoa or Momoa? I'm like,
and then he ends up appearing at the end.
Yes, at the end. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, the first time it fits seeing him on there. My favorite joke was definitely just the blasting to Taylor Swift.
Are you crying? Like, no, like to Taylor Swift.
And then when she closes the door and leaves, and it's just louder playing out. That was a good one. The movie was surprising. It was. It was. Anything else you want to say before maybe we give ratings for it?
I mean, shout out fucking Aaron Taylor Johnson. I mean, he puts in another performance where he plays that kind of dickhead role really, really well. It's a bit different from his role as Tangerine, as Tangerine, but you know, he's been killing it. Unfortunately, he's cast as Craven later, but you know, everyone has a dud here and there. Who else really killed it? I mean, obviously,
he also
Ryan
sounded
Gosling.
like Matthew McConaughey when he did his cowboy accent. That was straight up just Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, but I mean, he's British, so the fact that he can pull it off, I mean, yeah. Then obviously Emily Blunt, like I said earlier, Ryan Gosling. I mean, dude, there's a bunch of people on here. I like the official cast listing. The main chick from Everything Everywhere All at Once was also with them.
She's in there.
Yeah. I was like, damn, bro. There was just some fucking cameos in here.
It was a stacked cast.
It was a stacked cast, and I honestly did not know.
Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and then
and Ryan Gosling.
That's all I remember showing. So
yeah, but in terms of rating, okay, just so that people know where it currently stands at, right? So currently on Rotten Tomatoes, it stands at 82%, which isn't bad, which is a B, and 7.3 on IMDb. So you know it is what it is. But for me, I'm going to give this an 8.6 out of 10.
It's really good. You have to keep in mind, ratings for rom-coms are way different. Especially this is even a bit more comedy than rom-com.
Yeah.
So it getting like an 82,
it's like an
86 is great.
Yeah, it's like an action comedy with like romance kind of sprinkled in because it's kind of like, you know, I wouldn't say it's like a rom-com for sure, but it's like a mix of all those genres together, and I enjoyed it, dude.
Yeah, and probably for the first time ever, I'm agreeing with Rotten Tomatoes. I gave it an 8.2 out of 10.
Okay.
When I was looking online, I saw it's 82, and that seems pretty fair. So that's what makes it kind of even more painful is that overall it's liked, and it is absolutely bombing in the box office.
Which, I mean, we kind of thought that if May was going to be as stacked as it is, and then especially with like June and July coming up, it wasn't gonna stack up because immediately after you have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and then the week after you have
Furiosa.
Furiosa,
Yeah.
so, and then of course you get into June, but like, yeah, it was gonna be an uphill battle, but I'm glad I saw this in theaters before it left because I mean, obviously, like you said, it was already struggling to even get IMAX showings because of the Star Wars celebration, and it was literally that weekend because it came out May 3rd, so it was like
Yeah.
May 4th. You had all the Star Wars movies playing on IMAX. So I was like, sucks for it, but still, if you guys have a chance to watch it, I suggest you guys go out and support the film because it is actually fucking hilarious, and like the action is shot well. The acting is fantastic. Couldn't recommend any more, especially if you want to just go out and enjoy yourself for what, 2 hours. I think it's not even that long of a film.
Just 2 hours. And I think I think it's more fun to see this movie in theater, but I think if this movie goes to any streaming service, I think it's going to blow up easily.
Yeah.
Like if it goes like HBO Max, you're going to see TikToks galore of this movie, and then you're going to see definitely a fan base around it. So hopefully maybe a streaming service actually picks it up and gives it that second wind. Otherwise, I think since it bombed, it seems like they hold off the streaming service and they try to get rentals for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. But, that's kind of how his films do. I mean, obviously otherwise besides Deadpool 2, Bullet Train, I don't even think it did that well. And it's the theatrical run.
No, it was Netflix when it got way popular.
Yeah, and then you start seeing all of like the TikToks about it on TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. You start seeing all these lemon and tangerine, and yeah, of course. But it is what it is. But like I said, if you guys have a chance, go out and support the film. It's funny. You will at least enjoy yourself for a few hours.
Yeah, it's hard to say it's bad. I think
no.
it'd be very hard to go out of the saying you didn't like it.
Right. Yeah. But that's it. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.